Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, down here in Minnesota. Kind of chilly today outside. Still got that chill on me, so I still got my jacket on. I'm spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. I've been out here for a long time. Those of you who are following here and there, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who don't, well, let's find out what I'm talking about. My concern is making sure that you, the people, in these bodies during this lifetime have the best experience in these bodies that anyone can possibly have. And that's by sharing with you the truth that leads to that. Right now, you don't get the truth. It appears as if no one wants you, the people, to know the truth, which means they must be benefiting at your not knowing the truth. Let's look at it. When we think about stuff, we think about, let me see, I made a note here because I wanted to make sure that I was able to call some information to your attention. For instance, China. China, we know right now, I watch information over the YouTube and other sources, and they're telling you about what's going on in China. They're telling you about the flood. They're telling you about the devastation. They're telling you about the thousands of houses that's just being wiped out. They're telling you about small communities that's being covered over with mudslides. They're telling you about cars that's just all over the place like trash, like leaves in the wind, just being totally devastated because, well, that's what nature is doing, and this is where China is, and it is happening to China. But now, China don't tell its people that. I'm sure certain ones got the right to know, but according to the information that we're given, what the regular Chinese people are told is that it's raining. And this is a natural thing that is just happening. It's raining so much, and the rain is just building up in certain places, and the water is just washing down in these communities, doing the damage that it's doing. They don't tell them about the dams that's breaking. They don't tell them about the many dams. Now, there are certain people who got the right to know. So what I'm just saying is they don't give the proper information. They tell the people what they want them to know. And because of that, they are being victims. But it's not just happening in China. It's the same thing that's happening in North Korea. The lies. You can only get what the boss wants you to know. He owns the television station, radio stations, everything. And they can only pray and say what he says is okay. Same thing that's happening in Russia, they say. They don't get the real news. And that's the same. We know what that's all about because we here in America are now experiencing the same things. We see when Trump came on the scene, we watched Trump lie, stand up and tell us a lie and turn back around and then flip it and make sure that we know it's a lie by lying about that lie. And then we watch people just jump on the bandwagon and start using those kind of lies. And we see how confusing that can be. And so we know what that confusion about. It brings division between we the people, and we can't come together on anything. That's why Republicans and Democrats, rather than trying to deal with the situation and the pains and suffering that people are going through in America, they're at odds with one another because of the information that they've been given. The lies are the truth. They don't know their lie is the truth. The other person's truth is a lie. So you're caught up and all of that kind of stuff. But that's why it happens, to keep you ignorant so they can keep messing over you. And now, if you can't see that, let me say something else. What happened now since Donald Trump has been on the scene? Since this January 6th incident, and since this election plot that they tried to steal, and they were pointing the fingers at Democrats while they were trying to steal. Now you got people, even those who were trying to steal, who didn't play a part in the steal, they still think that the Democrats were doing the stealing. It doesn't matter that the evidence points a different way. They don't care. It doesn't even matter. So this is all, my friends, to keep everybody controlled. What's happening after that? You got the politicians down south. They don't want you to teach what's going on. Don't teach about slavery. Don't teach those truths. Give a prettier picture. Don't let our kids know that we were ignorant, stupid, and crazy like that. Teach them to be kind because we were kind. Teach them to be fake like we are fake. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you're being told to tell people. And why? To keep it secrets. Why? Because there's something going on that you're ashamed of it. You're exploiting anything. And it is absolutely pathetic, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you and tell you things you know I just got through sharing with you some evidence that you know is true. But I'm not just telling you these things because I want to do something about it. I've been trying to do something about it for years and years and years and years and years. You know, I used to tell you that the truth, and let me get, since I'm talking to you about that stuff, let me share the truth with you first. Here's the truth. This earth and everything that we can identify with our senses, it came from a source that we cannot even identify with anything. Everything is just here, where we don't know anything. We can think, say what, we don't know. But here it is. So I tell you that same power that put it here is smart. I watch the grass, I watch nature, I watch just how things happen, how they grow, how everything participates. I'm seeing it. So whatever was able to put this and together is on top of it. And I know being on top of it means that we human beings who have certain requirements for survival and the resources are all here. And the need is here. And the ability to manifest, cause a manifestation is here. Through gifts that each of us have that gives us our greatest joy in employing it in that process, that fills that reservoir of goods and service to the degree that it overflows and nobody suffers for anything. Whatever we can imagine. Flying cars, AI, anything that we can imagine, we can do. We've been given the abilities. We have the resources. And we can do. That power came from an outside source that somebody's lying to us and don't want us to know, because that same power gives us the right, basic human rights. Basic human rights. We don't suffer for food, clothing, shelter, education, or health care, transportation, infrastructure, anything that we can do. Hey, the power is responsible for all of that. What? For all of us. Everything that we enjoy in life is God's blessing to us, through us. Nobody out here giving us nothing. We are enjoying life because we've been given life through that basic process that allows us to have peace and prosperity and freedom and joy in our lives and the fulfillment of our dreams, our needs, our wants, and our desires met at our leisure. And we do not have to lie. We do not have to cheat. We do not have to steal. We do not be a hater. We don't have to be a racist or a bigot. We don't have to terrorize, and we don't have to kill, and we don't have to have a war. Now, that's the absolute gospel truth. And you don't need money, and you don't need a white or black or woman or man boss. You are the boss. But there's organization to make sure that everything works in harmony. That's what you call government. Now, I've been telling you this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you something. I ran for governor several times. At least once. I ran for president of the United States several times. I ran for United States Senate twice or once. Well, once I ran, and another time I was to try to replace someone else. I ran for the mayor of the city of St. Paul, Minnesota. I ran for mayor of the city of Woodbury, Minnesota. Why? Because what I'm telling you is the answer to our prayers. What I'm telling you is the answer to this crime and violence. What I'm telling you is the answer to what these people out here shooting guns. What I'm telling you is what's going on in this society that needs to be fixed, and this is the way to fix it. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. So, when I come and tell you this, why didn't you hear about me? Because they don't want you to know the truth. That's the best truth you can get. They'll tell you, oh, he wants to spread the wealth around. It has nothing to do with anything like that. They reduce me till I have to go and make a sign. Sign like this that people, we make America beautiful, not the kind of government that we have, not government. That's what I have to do to tell the American people. Got it on the back. Together, we free the world. Alone, we imprison ourselves. But this is the way they want us to walk. But this is how I have to get a message to people walking around in the cities, walking around on highways with a sign. Because the truth is so important to me, because I know that once you know the truth and start acting according to the truth, you're going to smile. You're going to have a fun and a wonderful life. Look at here. I do videos, and I have to put little signs telling you to look at, well, you can't read it this way. Watch YouTube videos. Who's a nigger? You go and pick up on my videos and look at one of the videos that says who's a nigger. No one has watched as many, given me as many views as that particular subject matter right there. What? What else? The sign here says, talk to me. Talk to me. I bring a plan that makes the world prosperous. I'm not playing these games, but This is the way I have to try to get the message to you. And you know what? They got you thinking, oh, he's black. You don't have to pay any attention to him. Oh, he doesn't have any money. You don't have to pay any attention to him. No, I haven't been asking you for money because the truth was supposed to excite anybody that's seeking the truth, and we didn't need any money. I've been asking you for some money, I guess, the past week, so I can utilize that, what I wouldn't do before, to try to do something that I haven't done to try to get your attention. But ladies and gentlemen, I didn't just stop there. I got signs I can take you back someplace, but I didn't just stop there. Let me tell you something else that I did, because I want to prove to you that I will do and was doing what no other politician would do. I want to prove to you that I know. I want to back what I'm saying up. I want to back it up. I'll tell you what I did. I had an employer a few years ago. I took roughly around $20,000 from that employer. Now, I didn't swindle. I don't know what they called it. I called it took their money. And what did I do with that money? I divvied that money out, gave it to whomever I wanted to give it to. Who did I give it to? I gave it to people who I felt needed it. I gave it to some dope dealers. Yes, I gave some money to dope dealers. I gave it to prostitutes. Yes, I gave some money to prostitutes. I gave it to some homeless people. Yes, I gave money to homeless people. And I did it for some people who needed their rent paid. I did it. And what did I do about that? After I divvied the money out like I wanted to, then I went and told the people that I took it from what I'd done, and I told them why I did it. And then the reason for doing it is because I wanted them to press charges against me. Real charges. I'd done something. Press charges. I want everybody to know that I've violated the rules. I've broken the law. I've taken $20,000 from you, and I want everybody to know it. Well, they took me down to the police station. We tried to get me booked in, and they told me to come back after the weekend. This was a Friday, so I was serious. Well, didn't want to be out on the weekend, but they told me to come back Monday. So we went back Monday. They wrote it up, booked it up, and arrested me. Now, what was I trying to do? I wanted you to know what I did. I tried everywhere I could to get the newspaper to tell you. I couldn't find in the newspaper anywhere that they told you. But I was trying to get your attention. Anyway, they booked me, and my purpose was to do two things. I wanted you to know, because I wanted you to come to a trial. I wanted to utilize a trial to say what I just got through saying to you about the truth of life, about the lie that have been given to you and the truth that you had been denied. I wanted to do it right there. But you know what? When I went to court, you weren't there. In fact, no one was there. But the people who were against me, and I don't know if I had a defender at the beginning or not. But anyway, no one was there. So I had to be what I could do for myself in that arraignment. And then waiting for the trial to come around, I still tried to get the message. I even got a couple of reporters said they were going to come to the trial. They didn't show up. When I got when I got sentenced, they were going to visit me. They didn't show up. So I still couldn't get that message to you. But what I did, ladies and gentlemen, that I did do this. Through that court proceeding, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do that I would have been able to do if you had been there. The judge wouldn't even allow me to express myself in this realness stuff, especially when it came down to God. He cut that stuff out real quick. But I had as much as I possibly could on the record. On the court record that says this is what I was willing to do. I was willing to do. But now that wasn't just it. Here's the other part. My plan was this. For you to come and listen to me tell you the truth, just like I just got through telling it to you. My hope had been that it would impact you in such a way that it would have an impact, an effect in your life, and you would go back from this trial, and what I had said to you actually becomes something that's real to you, and you start wanting it. You start needing it. You start talking about it. I don't care if I went to jail, but that you started making a move. You started spreading the news. You started saying a truth I just heard that I never heard before, but I've been hoping and dreaming all my life that something would come along like this, and here it is. But that didn't happen, so I had to reckon. And what it would do to me is when a day like this, when I listen to you who listened to Donald Trump and all the lies he told, you made that decision. When I listen to the rest of you, listen to Joe Biden and Barack Obama and all that stuff that they told you, you bought into it. One of them was such a big liar. I mean, he got all this advertising PR free. But the truth, from a black man that was poor, no money, it reminded me of the Jews. Somewhere I heard that they expected the Messiah to come. And he was going to come. They sort of, I think, if I'm not saying it wrong, it was something to this degree, expecting to ride someone on a white horse, a big savior for the Jewish people, and was going to free them and punish all of their enemies. But when he came as a humbled person, down with the poor and the weak and the meek and those who are suffering, he couldn't have come to the Jews. No. We don't want to have anything to do with that. So they passed Jesus up, according to the story, because of that. But I'm not trying to sell you on going to heaven. I'm not trying to sell you on saving your soul. I don't know what that means, saving your soul. I don't know what going to heaven means. I heard some stuff. I don't know what it means. But what I do know, there are certain practices that allows your body to exist. It requires oxygen. And somehow there's mixed up some kind of way. They can tell you, we got guys here who are smart enough to tell you, but I'm not going to try to tell you. But you know you breathing, and you got oxygen, and you're still living. You know that. That's absolutely required. The joy of life, the peace of life, it requires the same kind of attention. There's certain things you got to do. You got to recognize that all things belong to God. Nothing belongs to you. You have to realize that the only thing that you really got is the gift that you can give in this process of living, the process of life. And it's absolutely necessary, and it's special. And everybody in the world wants it because it benefits them. It makes them better. And you don't mind giving it because what they give makes you better. And everybody's complete. Everybody's complete. That is as heavenly can get. And you live like you're in heaven. And you don't worry about going to sleep at night because it doesn't matter if you wake up because you know everything's going to be all right. Why? Because you've proven yourselves that as much as you can do, you've handled it. And if there's a power that's much bigger than you but was able to make you so that you can do, that power is able to take care of you when you can't do. Tell you, ladies and gentlemen, ain't nobody playing no games except the people who you're listening to. The message that I bring to you, I bring it because the power that I know tells me about freedom, and that same freedom gives me the authority, gives me the desire to come before you and even use this little medium, a black man who's still walking around here living off $300 a month and tagging off a woman who loves him and gives him a place to sleep and some food to eat and let him use the car sometime, just so I can stay here and let you know that there's a power you can't see that loves you and uses me, and I'm sure others, that you have never heard anything about because they don't want you to hear about us. We're not talking about lying and taking advantage of people, but there are people out here that's when they came on the scene, all they do is want to cause pain. You stand up for truth, they want to come and jump on you. Well, look at the two representatives from the Republican Party that's on that January 6th committee. They stand up and speak the truth, and people want to kill them, kill their families. So what you know that's from the pit of hell. Straight up in the pit of hell. Those are the people who don't want you to know the truth. Those are the people who just want to use and abuse. Well, you know, they exist. Don't get mad with them. Because you got to stand up for truth just like they do. And if you don't, what makes you any different? They're just in a different place, but we all playing the same game until we change. So, ladies and gentlemen, until you can change, as I'm suggesting that we all change, we messed up. Think about that. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.